I'm tired. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired of this BS. I think I always make that joke. It's getting old. It's getting quite old. Oh man, I'm really tired today. Oh, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, de&i? Can you stop breaking? For 5 minutes, I beg of you. Why is this so difficult with you lately? I don't understand. Why must I suffer like this? Jeez, man. Jeez, I'm trying, you know? It's so rough. It's so rough lately. Okay. I think my throat is okay. We went a little bit wild yesterday. I ended up hanging out with my mates. And it's been a while, I'm not used to that, you know? Okay, let's move stuff here a little bit. Change this. I'm gonna try Oracle of Ages music today. Let's see how it works. Oh, we have seasons too. That's pretty nice. One unavailable videos hidden. It's not gonna be a big deal, right? I don't think so. Okay, for today we have strange news. We have some updates on Ubisoft and, unluckily for all of us, Square Enix. It's gonna be rough, man. It's gonna be rough. Let me check that this is actually working properly. It do be working properly, I do believe. Hope it doesn't break again. YouTube, why are you like this? So let's start with something that is positive, I guess. I thought this was a thing already, so I don't really know how to feel about it. Let me bring up my browser here. So, seems a little bit low. There we go, a little bit higher. So, from Texarto, which makes big viewership change to partner goals at long last. Are they going to make big changes to affiliate? I feel it's a little bit too low, not gonna lie. Twitch has made a pretty significant change for streamers who are still trying to get the partner status, but took in one of the big viewership requirements. Over the last few years, content creation and live streaming has gone from being a pipe dream of a career choice to a genuine option for many creators. Well, they say many creators. It's not wrong. It's still a tiny percentage, to be fair. Getting started though can be a challenge, especially if you don't have a niche that helps you stand out from the crowd. On the Twitch front, the Amazon platform does lay out steps to success. The partner program is how you'll get a subscriber button on your channel. Getting there can be tricky. Well, that's wrong. That's just wrong. That's not how it works. To get subscribers, you need affiliate. What do you mean? They're just lying to you already. And do they even know anything about Twitch? They should, please. If you write a lot about Twitch, you should know the bare minimum. The path to partner achievement will get you on Twitch's radar for an application to become, well, a partner. Oh, well, that makes sense. To do that, you've got to stream over 25 hours. Stream 25 hours in a month, I think? I stream at least 12 different days, maintaining an average of 75 viewers over a 30-day period. Yeah, 30 day. A month, pretty much. Getting that average viewership up is the biggest hurdle, but Twitch has made a change to now allow raids to be included in that figure. I always thought they counted. Why wouldn't they, you know? After all, you're sending viewers to another guy. They're still viewers. What's going on here? Actually, include raids now. We don't want to punish the idea of networking and communities. Angela, who's part of Twitch Global Partner Operations team, said on Twitter. Very much. A Twitch employee who deals with partnership applications noted that Twitch definitely looks for real engagement as well. So you can teamplay your figures with bots and become a partner. You're not going to get away with that. Well, that's just a lie because it happened already. That just happened already, so I don't know what to tell you. Also, how do you define real engagement? To be fair, right? I guess they mean chat. A lot of people just lurk, and that's still people watching. That's still people, you know? I don't know. There have, of course, been fair overnight successes amongst all the longer-standing creators who've got a big fanbase across different platforms. So if you manage to hit it viral for whatever reason, you could become a partner faster than ever if you get traded. That could also be a little bit negative. Maybe not partner, but affiliate, right? If you're trying to get established as a creator, getting really fast affiliate without actual numbers behind you, it's a bad idea. You're gonna get ads without people watching you, so that's going to be a deterrent for people that want to watch you, so that's actually usually bad, in my opinion. But I think that's good. I thought this was a thing already. I was looking at people talking about, oh yeah, it's gonna be easier to be partner now. I thought it meant they lowered the numbers a little bit. I guess not. That's fine, I suppose. I take a sip. I'm thirsty boy today. So I guess that's good. So let's get into the Ubisoft thing. From That Park Plays, rumor, Ubisoft to make changes to Yasuko's story and has his portrayed in Assassin's Creed Shadows. I've seen some people saying they're going to take him out. It's not possible. I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it. Even if they wanted, I don't think 3 months is enough. The backlash would be massive. They're just in a lose-lose situation, I guess, so it's actually kind of bad. But they can only blame themselves, to be fair. Ubisoft is rumored to make significant changes to Assassin's Creed Shadows during the 3-month delay. The company announced and will specifically change Yasuko's story and how he's portrayed. It might change some stuff. We have some examples here. What is this? Game over. I've never listened to this for this amount of time. That's interesting. That's just interesting. Ubisoft officially delayed the game last week, announcing in a press release, Assassin's Creed Shadows will now be released on February 14th, 2025. While the game is feature complete, the learnings from the Star Wars Outlaws release led us to provide additional time to further polish the title. I guess that's good. We'll get into that a little bit later, but apparently this game is just a buggy mess. So yes, you need to polish it a little bit more, even if it's just Star Wars Outlaws level shenanigans, you know? It's not gonna be good. They need to scrap whatever goodwill they can nowadays. It added, this will enable the biggest entry in the franchise to fully deliver on its ambition, not only by fulfilling the promise of our dual protagonist adventure with Naoe and Yasuko, bringing two very different gameplay styles. Sure. According to Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming, the polishing of the game includes changing some of Yasuko's story and how he's portrayed in the game. Using architectural details, thank you, stop being racist, I beg of you, ensuring that the game is historically grounded, will fit into the Assassin's Creed universe. I do believe that's a positive change. Is it gonna be enough? No, probably not, it's way too late for that. But I guess something, they're trying. Henderson also added that the game is currently not at the stage it needs to be for release. I'm told there have been some tweaks to some gameplay mechanics and elements that are going to take time to incorporate. If they're comparing this game to Star Wars Outlaws, I think that's fair. Not only did he reveal these changes, but he also shared that Ubisoft was not as dedicated to historical accuracy as multiple developers have claimed. Oh, I thought that was not a thing. I thought they had consultancies from Japan working with them. Well, we know that's kind of a lie. They do have some Japanese people, some somewhat Japanese people working with them. So it's just suspicious overall. Henderson shared that historical experts were brought onto the project much later than usual for a project of this magnitude, and that miscommunication between teams cutting corners when it came to the approval process of assets to meet deadlines, resulted in many of the historical and cultural concerns that have been raised by gamers. You know what? Sure, I truly believe this. Also, at the same time, it feels a little bit disingenuous, right? Because, sure, maybe they were, let's say, just a little bit incompetent in bringing the consultancies, but there's just a bunch of stuff that you can just Google. Okay, like Torii gates, what are they, how do they work, or seasons. Just simple stuff like that. So, at least they're trying to fix it, I suppose. It's not gonna be enough, once again. He also indicated that the Ubisoft management has ignored their own developers, who have been calling for a delay. That makes sense. That makes sense. I do remember. And oh, I don't have a link for that. We may need to bring that up later. I think that may be interesting. I do remember reading months ago, before the Outlaws game launched, that Ubisoft needed a huge game this year to make profit, because money-wise they were struggling quite a lot. So them being now, we cannot delay, we need to push this now, makes sense. I do think it's a good idea to delay this. It might sell more with the fixes than just how it is now, right now. And there's some information about money from Ubisoft. We'll get into that later. Completely forgot while getting everything together for today. He stated, 7 developers working on the project said that they have been pushing for a deal for some time, and the situation had been even being heard at other studios in the company. Also, once again, you have this so-called toxic positivity in these companies, and they're like, "No, there's no way we need that. It's fantastic. It's good, right?" And it comes to a point where they don't even listen to their own developers. That's really bad. That's really bad. Ignoring critics, I do believe it's always a bad idea. Ignoring your own developers? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why even bother with anything? Henderson's information appears to corroborate the rumors surrounding the game's delay. Brazilian YouTuber TVPH claims sources informed him the game was simply buggy mess. Once again, it's compared to Outlaws. Easy to believe, in my opinion. In the video he's playing is using Google's auto-translate function. The problem that is going on inside is a very simple one. The game is buggy. Is this Bethesda now? Which is something that is traditional to the Assassin's Creed series, right? Especially when they are making this transition and internal technology. I'm not quite sure what they mean by this. Might be mistaken the auto-translate part. Assassin's Creed Unity was very dramatic. Assassin's Creed Origins also had a lot of problems at the time of launch. Apparently. And Assassin's Creed Shadows also offers a change of internal technology. I guess the transition means this internal technology, that makes sense. A change of internal technology within the game that was most likely causing these bugs. Makes sense. We continued. That's not a completely new thing, right? A buggy launch of Assassin's Creed. There's a few marked difference in the days of Unity, in the days of Origins. Ubisoft was safer. Ubisoft was calm. But in September 2024, Ubisoft had just launched and seen The Star Wars Outlaws flop, also to be fair, it's just PS5 for now, so it's gonna flop. If you don't count PC sales, it's gonna be a flop. It happened with Final Fantasy VII. What's the name? Rebirth. It's gonna happen with you too. Which was a game that they expected would completely explode into being one of the biggest titles of the year. And from the looks of it, it just sold okay. It's all like the list a Star Wars game should sell, where there is no public interest in it, right? Part of the problem was that the game was completely bugged at launch. We've seen the clips here. It was wild. Ubisoft even had to apologize to the fans and promise that they are working on urgent fixes for performance problems on all platforms. He added, "They better. They better." vtuber and de&i also indicated Ubisoft is planning to make changes to Yasuke. He shared, "One of the things for sure getting removed from Shadows, according to my sources, isn't it the rap hip-hop music for Yasuke." Thank goodness. Apparently Ubisoft brought out the questionnaire and they were anonymously told that the rap music was totally wrong and completely unneeded, and that it was actually offensive that Ubisoft believed Yasuke knew the hip-hop battle theme in a game that was set well before such music existed, and it was only implemented because Yasuke was black. Also, it's black, but he's not African American. Come on now. Well, not the historical Yasuke, right? Knowing that they were trying to appeal to BLM and George Floyd, and Yasuke actually kind of looks like George Floyd. I don't even know what to tell you. Sounds strange to me. That's going to be gone for sure, he declared. I think that makes sense. Also going to be removing dialogue from the game that, according to my source, told me that it would actually enrage players if they heard it, he added. I wasn't given concrete examples of what kind of dialogue, but the source assumed it may have been Yasuke saying some sort of socio-political pantry nonsense about how he was sold by white men or something, and that he hates white men, and white supremacy must be abolished and such. Ah yes, white supremacy in Japan. That makes sense. Also, they're Portuguese. Are they really white? I don't even know anymore. They're also removing this because, of course, if that were in the game, it would absolutely be highlighted and used to attract even more people from supporting the game in the future. And they've been shared. Yes, obviously. Just make good game. Stop being an activist. It's not difficult to understand, I suppose. As for Ubisoft management ignoring its developers, it was brought up by YouTuber Legendary Traps, who noted that executives and even developers were ignoring player feedback and criticism of trailers. Yes, yeah, it checks out. Oh my god, my throat. Let me take a sip. Another one. And if we keep reading, I don't think I need to add anything here, because it's pretty much what I would say. He shared that the developer informed him, at high level, they rarely talk about it, at project level, they brush it off as toxic gamer talk. As Mongol correctly pointed out in one of his videos, Ubisoft is filled with toxic positivity that prevents growth. Yes. Yes. After being asked about Japanese gamers sharing their own criticism of Assassin's Creed Shadows, the developer stated, the criticism has been talked about and Ubisoft only issue demands that we must engage with discussion on that topic publicly. It's not a bad advice, in my opinion, because they're only going to help the snowball effect, but they should take the criticism into account in the company. You're trying to sell product. If customers are telling you product is bad, we're not gonna buy it, then you later cannot complain if you don't listen to them. What do you make of this latest rumor from Tom Henderson regarding Ubisoft and the changes it will make to Assassin's Creed Shadows? Also, didn't mention it here, but I've seen some of Endymions videos about this. They're pretty interesting. I do recommend. And apparently, from his internal sources, Ubisoft is planning trying to advertise their newer games as, look, we don't have any political stuff, we don't have any pandering, we don't have any quote-unquote woke stuff. So the game is good, you should buy it, it's gonna be good, right guys? Right, the epic gamers? And then, when the refund period expires, you will start seeing the message. And it's just a case of, trust me bro, but I do believe that will be the case. Especially with how scummy Ubisoft is, especially lately. They're not going to just completely reject the message, it's not gonna happen. Because there are just two options here. One, well, on both, they want money, obviously. But first option, they truly believe in the message, so they had to be pandering about it. Or two, they don't care about the message, but they don't like the free money they get from government, BlackRock, you name it. So they still have to add the message. They're trying to increase profit by trying to sell more. But that's probably one of the scummiest tactics in business. And I'm pretty sure that might be illegal. It really depends. It really depends how it's codified in France, I suppose, because it's a French company. But that's a possible lawsuit. That's a possible lawsuit, and I think it's pretty interesting. Also from Ubisoft. Ubisoft reportedly considering buyout in discussions with Tencent. Let's read this, it's kind of short. A new report is claiming Ubisoft is consulting with finance advisors on rebuilding their stock value, with the buyout potentially being considered as an option. The report via Bloomberg cites people familiar with the matter. Could be anyone. It even could be me. Okay? It's not me. Just in case it's not me. Here the funding Guillemot family are considering a variety of options, including a buyout, to recoup its market value, which has dropped more than half in stock valuation this year. The Chinese publisher and developer Tencent has reportedly been speaking with the Guillemot family and financial advisors on how to stabilize Ubisoft's stock value, of which the Guillemot family owns about 20.5% and Tencent owns 9.2%. And that's pretty much the problem here. This feels like an obvious conflict of interest. Are the Guillemots and Guillemots, it's the family, and Tencent colluding to crash the company so Tencent can buy it cheap? It's a pretty obvious possibility. It's China, after all. No, Tencent are cool, it's China. Okay, it's China. Do you want to sell your ass to China? I don't. Why would you do that? Doesn't make any sense. While buyout of Ubisoft was one possibility discussed, another route they have talked up is a collaborative buyout and taking the company private again. After initial reports on the potential buyout arose, Ubisoft stock rose as much as 33% in Paris. The largest gain since their IPO way back in 1996. That makes sense. That makes sense because people are trying to buy cheap stock and then sell it a little bit higher. I mentioned that last week, so it makes sense. Are you going to make a lot of money? Probably not. Are you going to make money like this? I think so. I think it's just money to make. I'm not an economics guy, so take it with a grain of salt. Discussions are reportedly in an early phase, and there's no guarantee Ubisoft will move on any of these options. Ubisoft's most recent large release, Star Wars Outlaws, has admittedly performed below their expectations, and has prompted them to release it on a competitor's PC store. The widespread criticism on their next flagship game, Through Shadows, has also prompted them to delay it to 2025. And something that I didn't really know too much about, let me bring up something here. Let's see, do they have something on Niche Gamer? Maybe not. I think it might have been mentioned in that park place. Let me take a look, a quick look here. Let's see. Oh yeah. We're just going to screen through this. We don't need to read the full article. This is from this week too, so it's pretty recent. Something that I didn't know was this. Ubisoft allegedly spent between 650 and 850 million USD on its quadruple game, Skull and Bones, and it was a massive flop. And also it's really funny, because Skull and Bones 2024 Ubisoft apparently is just the worst game than Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Isn't that game from like 2013, 2014? It's really funny. It's really funny. So they are actually in dire straits. Really dire straits. Look at this. Steam charts, Skull and Bones. All-time peak 2 months ago. 2,615 players. 24-hour peak. 412. This is not quadruple A. This is really bad. It's estimated that the game has sold between 23,600 and 34,100 copies. It's just a little bit higher than Conquered, so it's even a bigger flop than Conquered. Twice as much, possibly. No wonder they're crashing and burning. Oh, what are they doing? What are they doing? Is this de&i bullshit? Yes. Partially at least, right? I don't have it on me, but it's on envtubers videos too. How they keep hiring minorities just for pure tokenism, and it's completely useless because they are not skilled enough, they are not passionate enough, they are not good employees, so they have to how's the proper term? I don't remember. But they have to rely on all their devs, even if they're working on different studios, and pay them too, just to make something somewhat playable. And they will tell you, no, it's not de&i, come on guys, it's not it is de&i. It is de&i, I'm sorry to tell you this, but it is de&i. Affirmative action doesn't work. And this is just affirmative action to the nth degree, and it's not gonna get better. Well, it's gonna get better if Ubisoft crashes, but I just mean de&i in general. That's interesting, that's funny to see. Speaking of de&i, funny segue. Sweet Baby Inc. removes Square Enix from its client list on its website. Video game consultancy Sweet Baby Inc., whose goal is to push woke ideology into video games, removed Square Enix from its client list on its website. That's good, right? I don't know what to tell you, actually. Previously, Square Enix was listed in the middle of the second row on the Gilbert's list of lines between Ubisoft. Ubisoft. Funny how that works, obviously. Obviously, because Sweet Baby Inc. was born from Ubisoft, after all. One of those games. Right here. Between Ubisoft, Warner Brothers. I have a lot of people here. Wizards of the Coast? Yeah, I do believe that. We have some stuff about Wizards of the Coast today too. It's been a while. However, Sweet Baby Inc. has since updated their client list on their website, and Square Enix is no longer on it. Along with Square Enix, Nereal, a subsidiary of Devolver Digital, and the developer of Rings and Card Shark, is no longer listed as well. Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder why. It's just really bad PR after all. It is unclear why Sweet Baby Inc. removed Square Enix from its client list. However, an investor for Square Enix questioned the company about its relationship with Sweet Baby Inc. during a recent earnings report. I remember that. We read that too, I'm pretty sure. As reported by Twitter user Mitsutu, the investor questioned, I'm personally happy about the shift from quantity to quality. I hope good titles will come out in the future. I'm concerned about the Canadian consulting company, Sweet Baby. Square Enix listed as a client. Is there actually a transaction there? What kind of transaction is it? Will they continue to do so in the future? Square Enix President Takashi Kiryu responded, I would like to refrain from making specific comments about individual clients. As we shift from quantity to quality, providing content that is enjoyable and safe for our customers is also part of what makes a product fun. We'll do our best as creators. I just don't believe it. And yeah, they also mentioned this is really funny. Square Enix previously worked with consultancy group Black Girl Gamers on Forspoken. That was a good game, that solved a lot, right? It did not turn out well for the company. What do you mean? How is that possible? Square Enix representative director Yosuke Matsuda admitted the game's sales were not good during the company's financial results briefing back in February 2023. So we can skip a little bit here. Square Enix shut down the game's developer Luminous Productions and absorbed it into the company at large. Luminous Productions announced it was shutting down in February 2023. Yeah, gonna happen. One possible reason why Square Enix is no longer listed as a client is that it committed to getting back to quality games and engaging with its customer honestly. No, I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it. Square Enix announced the new corporate philosophy of creating unforgettable experiences and putting a focus on delivering a sheer fun by shifting from quantity to quality. After its profits declined 70% by embracing woke video game consultants like Black Girl Gamers. Oh my god, dude, you don't need to bring in the bishop again. You don't need to be so preachy to me about this, okay? So, they're cool now, right? Well, no. I tried to tell you this, they're not. Maybe this twice. Yeah, it's fine. Anti-censorship interview between Dragon Quest creator and Dragon Ball editor wiped from the internet. Spokesperson claims the video has been spread in a manner that's far removed from the true meaning. That's a lie. This was being exploding a little bit on Twitter this week. It's real interesting. It's real interesting. In the aftermath of the two esteemed creators setting the internet ablaze with their criticisms of America's content standards, nearly all traces of the recent anti-censorship discussion held between Dragon Quest creator Yuji Horii and former Shonen Jump editor-in-chief Kazuhiko Torishima have been partially scrubbed from the internet. Oh, I wonder why. Apparently, they're going to release it officially, so it's gonna be changed. We know that. As previously reported, during an interview given to Japanese video game news outlet de&i Nikkei Game magazine during the recent Tokyo Game Show 2024, the two were asked by their host Nance Grace about the censorious changes made to the Female Warrior, Female Gadabout, and the Man Monster Wrangler class designs in the upcoming Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. Well, there are a lot of restrictions, like you can be too willing, Horii began. As per a transcript of the interview provided by Japanese video game news source GameStop, and subsequently machine translated by Google Translate. First in turn by Chris. Chris? Oh yeah, not Chris, yes, sure. I'm being inspiration, but isn't it fine for you, the protagonist, to go adventuring it? Is that wrong? It's a game. It's non-fiction. Individual experience of fiction, so I think it should be fun. The RPG icon affirmed. I don't know. I really don't know though. If you're will too much, the target age group will increase. Or maybe it won't be suitable for all ages. And they took this as... see guys? See? It was Zero all along! Look, I'm not saying Zero is just innocent, but it's clearly not only Zero here, okay? Jumping off of his college's point, Torishima then explained, compliance is an absolute god. There's something like evil in the name of good. It's like everyone doesn't feel uncomfortable. Because everyone has different ideas about what is good and bad, like playing on dirty. At the root of everything, there are a few things that you absolutely must not do. If you don't do those things, everything else will be fine, right? That doesn't exist. I'm pretty sure, I don't really know, I'm assuming here that he is talking about the zero rating um, opposition, I guess, against dismembering of humanoids. That stuff you cannot really do. The idea of sex education that comes from religious concepts in response to America's Puritanism rather than a dig and the group mentality of progressive activists from the West is in America, right? And this was the only thing that was wrong in the translation, as far as we know. It was not sex education, it was Puritanism. The rest is pretty much still the same, though. So why are you deleting that? Also, the translator quickly came up with an apology, officially, being like, yeah, I made a mistake here. Someone pointed that out to me. It's actually Puritanism. Why take that down? Why delete the tweet? Is Square Enix knocking at your door? Possibly. I hope not. The idea of compliance is really narrow. When publishing comics over there, you have to separate them by age. If it's a Shonen Jump manga, you can publish it unless it's 13 years old or older. You have to do all the retakes. You have to take out insurance in case of a lawsuit. It's really troublesome. That's why Japan is so badly influenced by that. Closing out this portion of their interview, Hori ultimately added, you can choose a male or female protagonist, but you can say that you choose a man or a woman. There are type 1 and type 2. I wonder why on earth would anyone complain if we made them male and female? I don't know. It's so strange, it doesn't make any sense. So at the end of the day, you actually have Yuji Hori telling you, yes, we have to change this, and we don't understand why. And some people are taking this as a wing? Not as a wing for anti-censorship, but as a wing for censorship. Look, see? And they see that censorship is important. I don't think they mean that. Maybe just me, you know? Well, this admission that such censorship was necessitated by the prudish nature of American audiences and not done out of Japanese creators' own volition was taken as a victory, but those who continue to fight for artistic integrity, hello, that's me, I don't like censorship. It unsurprisingly seems that the bear's talk ruffled some feathers. Somewhere up there food chain, that's the one there, that should be the positive, I'm pretty sure. As just 4 days after the interview was initially shared, yeah, I see, that makes sense. And 3 days after it was commented on Twitter owned by Twitter owner Elon Musk, has been all but entirely scrubbed from the internet. I think even Alex Jones mentioned something about Dragon Quest. It's funny. It's funny. Chinese dragon talking about Dragon Quest. Match made in China, I guess. To this end, the initial video upload has been removed. The web transcript from GameStop has been deleted, and the Twitter user whose translation of the video brought it to widespread Western attention not only took down his original thread, but also posted a direct apology for his actions. That doesn't make any sense. Yes, he made a mistake. It was an honest mistake, and he actually tried to correct it. Yes, the video was up there, but the guy was saying, okay, I made a mistake here. It was not sex education. It was Puritanism. The message doesn't really change that much, okay? It was an honest mistake. Deleting everything is just suspicious in this case. If he were to delete it to re-upload it with a correction, sure, I suppose. I don't think that's the case. I would like to sincerely apologize for the incorrect English subtitles period for Mr. Katsuhiko Torishima's statement, wrote the user, as machine translated by Google Translate. The thing where he mentioned Puritan, it was mistakenly translated as sex education. The error was due to my mishearing. I deeply apologize for any inconvenience caused to all parties involved. To all parties involved. I guess that makes sense, but are you talking about Square Enix here? It's just too obvious. It's just too obvious, what can you say? Alongside this removal, a statement was also issued by Japanese news program Kusu, who notably did not host the event. Oh, what? But did allow some of their staff to work on it, including Chris, in which a spokesperson for the network. Both claimed that the relevant segment of Hori and Turishima's interview had been taken out of context and implored the public to stop sharing the creator's words. What do you mean? Out of context? I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case. I might be wrong, but I don't think that's the case. What kind of context are we missing here? I'd like to know, if possible. Because the clip was like 2 minutes and a half. Yeah. It's not like, 15 seconds. You might be missing context still, but their grimaces are still pretty obvious. Regarding the disturbance and related news reports, etc., the performers would like to inform everyone and make a request throughout the network. As per a transcript of the above image shared by Yahoo Japan, a machine translated by de&i, always out here, unlucky. The live broadcast game creators special program with Yubo and Mashirito's Koso broadcasting station was held on Saturday, September 28, 2024. It has been reported on social networking sites that some comments made by the performers were mistranslated by unrelated third parties when translated into English. So, one word was wrong, so everything was wrong. That's just a way to try and save face. Not only that, but some of the performance statements have been cut out and quoted as if the speaker was expressing a negative opinion about a particular ideology or belief, and the video has been spread in a manner that is far removed from the true meaning of the statements and the original content and message of the video. Torishima is getting Square Enix into trouble. He's getting Square Enix into trouble. That's so bad. So yeah, I guess the higher ups on Square Enix are not liking this. Do not fuck with Dragon Quest. What can you say? Malicious videos, by the way, and transcriptions have been spread on multiple YouTube channels and social networking accounts, and videos with incorrect English translations of subtitles and articles using them as sources of information have spread and spread not only domestically but also internationally. They continued. The mistranslated word is Puritan. Should be Puritan, but it is mistranslated as sex education. Yeah, how about the rest? How about Hori talking about, yeah, I don't know why we must use type 1 and type 2 instead of Magnhuamens now. Was that a mistranslation too? This situation was an unintentional misunderstanding by the speaker, and we deeply regret it, as it may damage the trust not only in the performer himself, but also in all parties involved, and we strongly protest against the actions that led to this situation, the spokesperson concluded. We strongly protest the actions that have led to this situation and ask no, actually that's making sense there. Ask the public to refrain from spreading articles based on mistranslations or arbitrarily cut videos that differ from the original content and message of the entire video. I don't think it was that much of a mistranslation. Sure, it was a mistake in a single word. It was an honest mistake. It doesn't change the overall meaning. Especially because that was said by Torishima, not by Yuji Horii. So, what the fuck? Also, I'm not gonna stop. You're gonna have to stop me, Square Enix. You are too weak and pathetic. As of writing, it's unclear which individual or entity ordered the scrubbing of Horii and Torishima's interview from the internet. I assume Square Enix. That's a safe assumption. Might be wrong. However, given the speed and tenaciousness with which the data and notices were issued, Speculation suggests that the Square Enix themselves luckily had a hand in the entire affair. Pretty much. Players can start killing slimes in Dragon Quest 3 HD to D remake as soon as it hits shelves on November 14th. You know what would be actually really cool? If after this game releases, someone somewhere would release maybe a mod for the Super Famicom version compatible with the translation, add the new mechanics. So now you have everything, but has a trace of censorship. Pretty cool, huh? That'd be pretty interesting. I don't think it's gonna happen, but you never know. That'd be pretty cool. So yeah, that happened this week. It's kind of rough, not gonna lie. And you might be thinking, okay, but maybe it's actually Square Enix being based, because some people were using that sex education stuff to push out against the quote-unquote right-wing Americans, because it's obviously the Christians, the right-wing Christians, right? I don't know what to tell you, man. Still think Square Enix hasn't gone woke? The look at the replies. This is from yesterday. Pride at the Square Enix Twitch livestream, October 8th, 2024. Living good with 2 shoes. Pride in October. The hell? And look, sure, you can be talking about the game. This game is being published by Square Enix. This game is gay, sure. Admittedly, I mean, I'm not saying this, it was said by the creators. It's extremely sapphic. So it's just lesbian, right? Why have this? Why have this? Just feels propagandistic. Why? Because it is. Square Enix didn't get the memo, so it seems. Prima Super, stop being gay. It's illegal now. Apparently, I'm not quite sure if it's true or not, but apparently, October is also Gay History Month, whatever that means. Okay, what's going on here? Continue watching? Yes? Come on. Dude, please, I beg of you. Fuck. What's wrong with you? Come on, man. The hell? I hate YouTube sometimes. Yes, I'm gonna say only sometimes. So, it's everything imploding here? Some of them are, I suppose, but some others are not. Let's see. How is From Software doing? It's in Japanese. Let's see the translation. Press release from October 4th. That was, oh, yesterday. Look at that. Basic salary and starting salary for new graduates. Notice of increase. More money. Huh. That's interesting. From Software Co. Head office Shinjuku, Tokyo, CEO Hidetaka Miyazaki has decided to raise the base salary of its current employees by an average of approximately 11.8% from April 2025. That's really nice. In line with this, the starting salary for new graduates will also be raised from the current 260,000 yen to 300,000 yen. That's pretty good. Our company is committed to creating games with the desire to communicate emotion, create value, and delight. To achieve this, we believe it is essential to create an environment where each employee can focus on content development, and we are working to create a stable income and rewarding work environment for employees. The recent decrease in base salary and starting salary is one such measure. We will continue to work on game development to provide our users with even more excitement and valuable games. Would you look at that? Make good game, make game that sells, it works, holy shit! Imagine my shock, what's going on here? What's going on? And sure, I guess that Elden Ring also has Type A and Type 2 shenanigans when creating the character, but as far as I know, despite the shaky translation and some text and whatnot, I don't think Elden Ring is trying to push the message, and people like the game. It's not for me, I guess, but people like the game. So I guess that works. I guess that works. And now... let's keep talking about games a little bit more, I suppose. So, now, from PC Gamer. I haven't read this article yet, but I think it's gonna be interesting. This one, right? Yes. Yes, it is. Had to make sure. Just in case. The games industry is undergoing a generational change, says Epic CEO Tim Sweeney. A lot of games are released with high budgets, and they're not selling. High budgets and they're not selling, I wonder why. Well, it's really easy to see, actually. If you're spending a lot of money, doesn't mean you're spending money correctly. Just for starters, you know? The world of video games is changing, and the Epic chief believes the future is social. Commies. Homies, I hate them. Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney said during his address at today's Unreal Fest in Seattle. Seattle of all places. And while there's still uncertainty about what exactly the metaverse is, the continuing growth of Fortnite and the failure of a number of high-profile, big-budget games to meet the expectations is proof that it represents the future of gaming. Holy shit, they're trying to sweep for home here. Fortnite hit new records in concurrency, Sweeney said during his opening comments, achieving an all-time peak of 110 million active users over the previous holiday season. The accomplishment, he said, comes amidst a generational change in the games industry. Look, the game is free, it appeals to the kids, and also you have a billion collabs because you're using China money. So, I don't think it's a fair comparison. Of the manifestations of that change we're seeing right now is that a lot of games are released with high budgets, and they're not selling nearly as well as expected. Yes, they don't know how to spend the money. Okay, that was weird. That was weird. They had a really big offset. That's strange. Instead, whereas other games are going incredibly strong, what we're seeing is a real trend where players are gravitating towards the really big games, where they can play with more of their friends. That's actually not true. Well, not necessarily true. Because you can see that... what was the figure? 54%, I think, or something like that, of gamers want single-player games. Funny how that works. The perceived value of a game, he continued, grows in proportion to the number of your friends that you can connect to. Maybe for younger people, I don't think that's the case nowadays. Not for, let's say, older fucks like me. For everything from playing games together to chatting by voice, watching virtual concerts, or doing other kinds of cool virtual things online. Oh my god, what the hell? Does it make any sense? I don't think so. I think it's just performative BS. Some people will call it the metaverse. That's a huge stretch. Student said, and we're not all in agreement on what this means. Oh, it's the metaverse. What does it mean? I don't know. What? That's just pure BS then. Some people, when they hear the word metaverse, they think of what Facebook is doing with their VR and now AR. Some people use the metaverse to describe everything that they don't like about the current Fortnite season. Well, to be fair, that is indeed called the metaverse. Also, is Facebook still doing that? I thought they cancelled that project. It was kind of ass, let's be real. It looked ugly, and I don't think it's gonna work. I never used it, but I'm gonna say that VR chat is probably better metaverse than that. Okay. Still, VR chat, not a good example as far as I know. They're not gonna be betting the grooming allegations either. Unlucky. Regardless of what you think of the moment-to-moment state of Fortnite, though, it's new and it's exciting. It's something that's never happened in this scale in the history of entertainment. Not a lie, I suppose. Finn said, the evolving story and ongoing live content updates are obviously a huge part of that. Yes, once again, you keep having collabs with massive IPs. They got Dragon Ball, they got Marvel, they got DC, they got fucking Naruto too. Didn't they get the Incredibles lately, or also Street Fighter? I remember the comparisons between Mrs. Incredible and Chun-Li's ass. Okay? That was the thing that happened. So yeah, it's also a little... I'm gonna say a little bit. I don't think it's actually a little bit. It's probably way more than a little bit. It's just FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. Are you really not gonna pay the V-Bucks to get the Dragon Ball characters? You that enjoy Dragon Ball? Well, I don't give a fuck about Fortnite, so yeah. That's me. I don't think that's most people. The evolving story and ongoing live content updates. Yes, we read that. He's part of that, but he attributed much of Fortnite's success to all the world's brands participating and trapping in. Musicians reaching users, Disney, Star Wars, and others all coming together to create a world-class entertainment experience that's ever-evolving and live. That's really what we think the future of gaming is about. I don't think there's a good future, okay? Sure, having collabs, whatever. But you pretty much want to have literally everything. It's just the huge Frankenstein monster. So, let's say, I enjoy fantasy RPGs, like a lot of people. So if I were to play, let's say, an MMORPG that is medieval fantasy, somewhat, right? They have magic, sure, it's normal. And then they were to add a bunch of superhero content, a bunch of anime content that doesn't make any sense, like, let's say, Dragon Ball, and I do like Dragon Ball, okay? They were to add current musician stuff. I don't think that would make sense, and I don't think I would enjoy that. It's just a huge all for the money, baby. It works for them, but I don't think Fortnite's a great example of having a curated fan base. Amanda Ray is saying, hey bro, whenever the topic of the metaverse comes up, but I won't argue Sweeney's point. 7 years after Fortnite first launched, it remains an absolute juggernaut, and the biggest brands in entertainment are still ending up to get in. On the other side of the coin, Sweeney's mention of a slump among some big budget standalone releases seems on point. Suicide Squad, sure, Final Fantasy 16, still exclusive to PS5. Starfield, we don't talk about Starfield. And most probably Star Wars Outlaws, plural, have all been let down to some extent, even though they all carry the branding Sony so enthusiastic about. It's about quality, right? I played Fortnite for like 40 minutes, and it's not for me, okay? It's not for me. I'm an old fuck, it's fine if it's not for me. I can be playing games from the old times, it's fine. I could understand why people like it, but the thing about Fortnite, we're going to just ignore all the collabs they have, and they have a lot of them, and really huge. What they made was a game that works, and is trying to give their customer base what they want. That's normal. That's normal. That didn't happen with these games. That's the problem. Suicide Squad killed Justice League. It looked ugly as fuck, and it would end up being just the usual live service slop. Final Fantasy 16. Look, I like the older Final Fantasy games. I like turn-based JRPGs. It's not a secret. Final Fantasy 16, it's not an RPG. Some people will tell you, it's still Final Fantasy, it's in the title. And I'm like, sure, I guess, it's officially Final Fantasy 16. The game is hack and slash. So, if you like turn-based JRPG, and I understand that the Final Fantasy has been moving away from that in the past, what, 15 years? More than 15. Closer to 20. Sure, I understand that it's a reasonable evolution, I suppose, but that's not going to appeal to their JRPG audience, so they're not going to buy it. Also, once again, still PS5 exclusive. When it comes to PC, we'll see a noticeable increase in sales. That makes sense. Starfield. It's way too big. It's way too big, apparently. Has a lot of nothing in between. It was a buggy mess. It was so buggy and so bad that even the modders were like, yeah, fuck this game, we're not even mod this thing to be playable, who cares? And wasn't this game like 100 USD? That's a lot of money. When you could buy Skyrim and mod it, that'd be better. And Star Wars Outlaws, we've been talking about this today, last week, the week before. Yes, buggy mess. Buggy mess. It looks ugly. And to be fair, they had some good ideas, but still, PS5? I think it's on PS4. Still Sony exclusive, right? So that's relevant. That's relevant. So I guess this is just the China people trying to sweep for China. What for China? Something like that. Something with a stick. I don't remember the expression. And that makes sense. But I don't want all the games to be just from China, you know? I do enjoy JRPGs. And make no mistake about it, if you don't like the message in entertainment, do you really think that's not gonna happen when China has a monopoly? They are literally communists, come on now. Oh man. Okay, let's jump to something a little bit silly now. I saw this yesterday and I was laughing about this. So, let's see. So silly. We have an article here from The Blaze. Female backed applicants who failed, my bad. Maryland State Police tests likely to receive 2.75 million USD in back pay for discrimination suit. Wow. You have this guy, right? Lots of people taking this decision, but do you think you could pass the post? Here's a thread of test questions. So silly. It's so silly. We're gonna skim a little bit through this, okay? It's kind of long, but I think it's really funny. On Tuesday, Officer Jones worked the 3 PM to 11 PM shift. At 10:15 PM, he was called. Are you assuming now? To the scene of an accident, where he remained until 1:30 AM. How long past his regular shift did Officer Jones work? This is just basic math. Elementary school math, okay? So difficult. Well, it's obviously from 11 PM to 1:30 AM, 2 hours and a half. We know that. They have more. It's so funny. If you're really struggling, don't worry. Just keep plugging in your answers. It might be right, it's just a test after all. In preparing her report on a home burglary, a police officer listed the following stolen items and their values. Television set, 400 USD. Radio, 40 USD. I guess that's cheap nowadays. Stereo equipment, 1500. And gold chain, 100. What was the total value of the stolen goods? I don't know, man, it's too hard. It's too hard. Do you think it might be 2040? I think that might be the case, but I'm not sure. What was the value of all the stolen goods except the gold chain? Might be, I don't know, 1,840 USD. I think that might be the case. Addition and subtraction, okay? This is easy for now. Well, is it? Is it easy? I hope it is. This test may seem too tough for you now, but just you wait until you see question number 4. A police officer was called to an accident scene across town from his present location. If he has to travel 2 miles on Grand Road, 3 miles on Road 47, and 12 miles on Interstate 70, how many miles does he have to travel to get to the accident scene? Well, 2 plus 3 plus 12. I do believe that is 17. I don't know how you can get 82 out of this. You don't need to add the 12 miles to the 70 as the name of the interstate, okay? That's too much, that's too silly. Stop it. This is beautiful. Now, we're doing business here. Question 5 separates the men from the boys. Or apparently, the men women from the women. What did it mean by this? And appliance stories, vulgarized, and 21 clock radios with a total value of 1050 USD are stolen. What is the average value of the radios? Well, that is really easy, right? We just need to divide 1050 by 21. If you need some paper and a pencil for this, sure, okay, sure, but it's just 50, okay? I mean, it's an actual test, so you might want to make sure it's right. But it's just 50. I'm not quite sure how you can get 22,050 out of this. You don't multiply them, you have to divide. Let's see the next. Now we're going to transition from the mathematics section to reading comprehension. Oh, nowadays that is really high skill to have. Have you seen Twitter? Yeah. Before getting to the questions, read this paragraph. You'll need it for questions 6 through 10. That's a lot, okay? That's a lot. Let's read. Young people probably don't think of permanently borrowing a library book as a crime, but it is. Thousands, possibly millions of books and other materials are vandalized or stolen each year from libraries across the USA. These institutions must obtain repayment or close down. The State Criminal Code, please understand, I'm tired today, contains a section that deals specifically with crimes involving library materials, defining such terms as library facility, library material, premises of a library facility, and library card. This section particularly describes 2 general offenses: library theft and criminal mutilation or vandalism of library materials. This might seem like a lot, okay? This might seem like a lot, but we can go back to the text. Don't worry. Sentences for these offenses vary. Examples follow. A person who borrows and fails, after a notification, to return books and materials valued at 75 USD, may be fined up to 500 USD and ordered to pay the replacement costs of the books and materials. This is considered a petty offense. It's gonna be important, it's on the test. Any library theft of books and materials worth more than 300 USD is a Class 3 felony. They repeat that, which I think is funny. Mutilation or vandalism of library books and materials valued at less than 300 USD is a Class A misdemeanor, while the same offense is a Class 3 felony if the books and materials are valued at more than 300 USD. We can go back to the text, okay? Do not get sleepy for now. Now, here are the stampers in question. Let's see, okay? According to the passage, libraries in the United States do not experience very much theft or vandalism. Well, that's false. It's actually pretty common, as they say. According to the passage, a person who borrows and fails to return library books and materials valued at 75 USD has committed a Class A misdemeanor. Was that a Class A misdemeanor? I don't remember. Let's see. Let's check here. 75. Oh! Superior offense. So I guess we need to go back and say that this is false. That makes sense. According to the passage, a petty offense involving library books and materials can result in payment of both a fine and replacement costs. Well, that is true. The example they give would be the 75 USD figure here with a fine up to 500 USD. That's a lot of money. According to the passage, mutilating and vandalizing library books and materials worth more than 300 USD is a petty offense, Class A misdemeanor, or Class 3 felony. Now you may be thinking, well, we know it's not a petty offense. Was it Class A misdemeanor or Class 3 felony? Let's check the text. They said more than 300, right? So it has to be Class 3 felony. It's right here. So easy. And this is just absolutely fantastic. The passage is mainly about the extent of library theft among young people, the prevalence of library theft across the United States, the way in which the criminal code handles library theft, the effect that theft has on libraries, or the criminal mutilation or vandalism of library materials. Well, do we know how to read? That's obviously C. The way in which the criminal code handles library theft. Let's keep scrolling. Question 11 gets its own passage. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. Stay with me a little bit, okay? An individual who intentionally killed someone with a lawful justification commits murder in the first degree. A person who commits the offense of murder in the first degree, as described above, commits murder in the second degree if he was provoked into a state of uncontrollable passion. I do like the wording here of passion. I wouldn't use it, but that's just me, right? An individual who unintentionally killed someone with a lawful justification commits involuntary manslaughter if he performs the act which caused the death recklessly, whether the act be lawful or unlawful. A person who unintentionally kills someone as the result of the reckless driving of a motor vehicle commits reckless homicide. Okay. We understand the 4 different possible murderous charges here, right? Let's read the text. 2 men in a tavern got into a shouting match and stepped outside to settle the problem. According to witnesses, the first man continued yelling obscenities at the second, despite the second man's loud and firm requests that he stops. After 10 minutes of being taunted, the second man attacked the first with a knife and killed him before witnesses could intervene. According to the definitions, the second man should be charged with first degree, second degree, manslaughter, or reckless homicide. I don't know about you, I do believe this is a case of uncontrollable passion. Has to be second degree. Are we gonna pass the test? I don't know, man. Feels rough. You map yet? Well, hang in there. Questions 12 and 13 rely on this material. They have an empty incident report. They have some text. Susan Olson, owner of Quick Food convenience store at 20 Locust Avenue, Ellisville, called police headquarters at 7 o'clock a.m. Tuesday, May 10th, to report that her establishment had been broken into during the night. Officers Jane Wright and Alan Weber arrived at the store at 7:10 a.m. to investigate the incident. Mrs. Olson was also able to report immediately that a 10-inch portable color TV and 76.50 USD from the cash register were missing. We're getting to the meat and potatoes, I guess. Now you have to answer the hard questions like, can you read the paragraph that contains the answer? Well, can we? I don't know. So, the incident report can be fully completed based on the information in the paragraph. Well, we have the address of the incident. We have the offense. Do you have the code? I don't think so. Maybe it's something that we should know. I don't know, I'm gonna say no. We have the date. We have the... suppose the name of the victim in this case. We don't have the address or phone of the victim. We have the assigned officers. We don't have the badge numbers. We don't have the age of the victim, the race of the victim, or the victim's date of birth. Assuming the victim should be the owner of the establishment, that I think makes sense. We don't have a suspect at all, but we have the charges and items. We would be missing brand, and possibly serial number for the TV. So this is clearly false. And 13th question. The incident was reported to police on May 10th. Yeah, it's right there, May 10th. Can we do it? Can we do it? I don't know, man. I don't know. The following questions ask you to identify spelling and grammatical errors, and to insert the correct word where it fits. English. English is gonna be rough. Mr. Smith always kept his cooking utensils in good working condition. All the kitchen knives were very sharp. How do you write it? Well, it's B with a V, right? Not with an F. And the pots and pans were scrubbed clean. We don't care too much. During its existence from 1964 to 66, the courthouse received 450,000 calls of complaint. Each complaint was acted upon. It's. So it has to be A. Right? Or is it C? Is it B? I don't know. It's A. Okay, it's A. That's the positive in this case. The officer was working overtime last night. Well, if the officer were working, it would be was, right? It's funny. Funny how that works. This one is beautiful. Driving an automobile while under the influence of alcohol or drugs is prohibited by law. Which word in the sentence above is misspelled? I want to say influence. I might be wrong, okay? I'm not a cop in Maryland. I might be wrong here. Question 18 also asks you to identify a spelling error. This can be a hard one. The clerk at the motor vehicles office confirmed on Wednesday that William Gray resides at 1301 Oak Avenue, Anytown, Georgia. Which word in the sentence above is misspelled? Look, if you want to be a cop and don't know the days of the week, we may have a problem. But, to be fair, could be none of the above. Is it Wednesday or Wednesday? I do believe C is wrong here. Now he's headed to the final section. You have to fill out forms correctly. According to style guide, everyone is provided. Example of correct answer. The incident took place on January 17th. You have to write that sentence. You cannot just write the date. You must add the in the incident to be correct. What's going on? What's going on? The questions are based on this. You have to fill in which items were stolen, where the victim lived, and suspect's name and address, the suspect's clothing items, and the names of the officers assigned to the complaint. We're not going to write it down, okay? But we have all the information here. Do you know how to write? You might be smarter than a cop. It's a little bit grim, okay? But yeah. Now, without sarcasm, if you fail this sort of test, something is wrong with you. This test is incredibly easy, and you would have to be illiterate and innumerate to fail. And yet, 9% of whites and 29% of blacks fail. Incidentally, with equal variances, that's a 0.79D difference. I don't know exactly what that means, and not into that sort of statistics, I have to admit. And let's be real, this test is just elementary school level. I could ace this test in like 4th grade, while English is not my first language. And that's funny. That's funny. Is your kid smarter than a cop? Possibly. Possibly. And also I saw something really funny here. Now, what do the women fail? Well, 49% of them can do 18 push-ups in a minute, 27 sit-ups in a minute, run 1.5 miles in 15 minutes and 20 seconds, and reach 1.5 inches past their toes while seated. They are pathetically physically incapable. so that's the department's fault. And I don't know what to tell you, but if you're somewhat fit, doing between 25 to 30 push-ups in a minute, it's not a big deal. They cannot do 18. Half of the participants cannot do, women participants, right? Cannot do 18 push-ups in a minute. There's 7 sit-ups in a minute. I haven't done sit-ups in close to a decade, so I'm a little bit rusty. If you give me 2 weeks, I can do it. And 1.5 miles in 15 minutes. You don't need to run that much either. Also, 1.5 inches per their toes, well seated. I tried it yesterday just for the memes. Without even trying, I managed to do like 5 inches. I'm too skilled to be a cop in Maryland. What can you say? Are you more skilled than a cop in Maryland? Well, I hope so. At least the test. If you're not fit enough, well, I guess eating donuts is also a cop's duty nowadays. Jesus Christ, it's so bad. It's so bad. And I'm pretty sure that these physical tests are easier for women than for men. And if men have to do this, anyone can be a cop. Not literally, but most people can be cops. That's kind of scary. And look, we go back, and they're likely to receive 2.75 million USD in back pay from discrimination for being illiterate, innumerate, or just out of shape. Why? I too want free money. But I guess I might be too skilled for them. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? So bad, man. It's so bad. Oh, man. Let me take a sip here. And then they will have the audacity. Some people, I'm telling you, yeah, this is not about diversity. What do you mean? Look, I don't care if you have female cops, black cops, or whatever, okay? Are they good? That's the only thing I care about. I'm seeing already way too many clips of female cops completely failing to arrest a suspect. 2 women, 1 suspect, and then fail. They need to ask the help of civilians. Why even have cops at that point? Not in my country, luckily. I actually seen the requirements for being a cop in this country. I don't think I can reach that yet, right? So hey, it's looking better. It's looking better. And I don't know. Some people will tell you, well, but women are not as strong as men. I know, but if you have to do the same job as men, you need to have the same capabilities. It's gonna be harder for women, but I don't want to get killed because a fire broke out and the firewoman cannot carry my heavy ass. Okay? Well, a man could. I don't want to die because people that should save me are incompetent and less capable than me. Is that too much to ask? I don't think so. Anyway, let's move on something completely different. Let's see. From bundling into comics, we have a bunch of bundling into comics today, I guess. Interview, vtuber falling shadow on Twitch moderation, mental health, and chuuba discrimination. The rules are constantly manipulated depending on who the recipient of the punishment is. Come on, guys, do you really think Twitch is biased? Surely they're not. I also have a bridge to tell you. It's new. It's new. It's in England. It's beautiful. I'm going to mute for a second because I want to blow my nose. It's actually quite a long intro. And look, let me be clear. I can say something positive about Twitch here, and it's the following. When we're talking about these past few days, well, more like past few weeks already, about unfair bans of VTubers and whatnot. And sure, there's always the possibility that these VTubers are brain damaged and they're not able to properly use the content moderation tags that Twitch has. That could be a possibility. Is that always the case? I don't think so. I don't think so. That could be just a scapegoat, but that's the thing. Oh hi, hey, how you doing, Astroban? We're gonna read an interview here from Shondo. It's a long one, so buckle up. In service of our reporting on her recent Twitch ban, it was revoked, luckily. We reached out to vtuber Fallen Shadow for both comment and fact verification. And while she graciously offered her thoughts on her quick banning and unbanning, the vtuber also spoke with us regarding the streaming platform's recent actions. Their harsh treatment of VTubers compared to flesh tubers, and how streaming has helped her mental health. I haven't read this, so it's gonna be my absolute first reaction to this. As not all of this information was specifically pertinent to our coverage, Fallen Shadow was gracious enough to allow us to present our conversation in interview format. So nice. This small insight into her life also showed her infallible willpower and heart. Oh, they're batting for her already. So for that, we once again thank the VTuber for her time, and proudly present her words below. We have Ryan Pearson, the interviewer, and Fallen Shadow, or Shondo, the interviewee, right? Are you an adult woman? We can see in your hand the cam streams, and you discussing your age. But this is purely as a matter of due diligence, oh man. Yes, I am an adult woman. I am in fact considered a legal adult in all parts of the world. Well, no excuse now. Oh, she's a child. Shut up. She's obviously a grown-up woman. Sure, VTuber persona an eldritch being or a ghost. A completely normal girl, of course. That's not a polite question to ask a lady. I am normal and human. Are you really normal if you're a chuuba? I don't think so. In your prior stream, you mentioned having schizoaffective disorder, and on Twitter mentioned being disabled. You still live with schizoaffective disorder? Is there anything about it you'd like people to know? Or inform them about living with the condition and how it has affected you? Yes, I still live with schizoaffective... What a word! What a word! I'm struggling today, okay? Schizoaffective disorder. Unfortunately, it's not something that can go away. There's no cure, though therapy and medication can definitely improve living conditions. That's always good. I was an extremely young presenting case. Typically, with schizoaffective disorder, symptoms will start to show around mid-teens to early adulthood. That's interesting. What I would now argue is fortunate in my case. I started showing symptoms a little after I started learning to talk. That's early. And was initially diagnosed and treated for childhood schizophrenia. Chuuba's not beating delegations with this one. It's fine, guys. It's fine, we're normal. But later on, as it became apparent, I presented with symptoms of bipolar schizoaffective disorder. This diagnosis was retracted / combined into bipolar schizoaffective disorder, childhood presenting. I don't know too much about mental health, so I'm taking this at face value. What can you say? I've had fortunate before, because I have understood and come to terms with my illness. It takes a very long time to just get a diagnosis of this sort. You will be shuffled between doctors, psychiatrists, therapists, especially if you're classed as a minor. Getting the right cocktail of medication can take years to balance. And it can be still wrong, with more normal stuff than this. We've seen that, it's not looking good. I went through all of this as a child, so now as a young adult, I am reasonably stable. However, most people with schizophrenia type disorders suffer this adjustment period around the age I am now. This diagnosis, and all of the treatment I have had, defined most of my childhood, and I was never really able to be normal or make friends. I guess that's common in the sphere, even if you don't have this kind of disorder. There are usually a bunch of oddballs here. I had very little schooling, as I spent a lot of time in different hospitals. Some stays lasting several months. That's rough, man. It's hard for me to speak on behalf of people with these types of illnesses, as my case wasn't normal, even by abnormal mental illness standards. And I faced a lot of stigma growing up. From teachers, parents, even doctors. Even doctors, that's just as scummy. But I guess that keeps happening. Growing up, spending over a decade in therapy, and over many years of trial and error on many different medications, I'm able to function to a pretty high degree. I am mentally impaired due to antipsychotics, but I am reasonably able to do most things by myself. Though sometimes I need a little more time for some tasks. That's normal. I mean, that's normal. Some people need more time for some things, that's not a big deal. God, just stop. You did, I hate it. I hate you too. I hate playlists now. It's not looking good, man. It's like I always feeling as if I haven't slept in days. Some days are a bit of a blur. That's me, every day, but lack of sleep in my case. I have no excuse. That's self-inflicted. I have only myself to blame. I was a very spiteful person for most of my childhood, and young teenage years. I had a lot of resentment for people that were not on medication, for the people that mistreated me, for my parents, were both also mentally ill. Oh, that is a dangerous combination. Unlucky. Really unlucky. For having me. Oh, that's actually really sad. I understand the situation, but it is still sad. I spent a lot of time being very angry and hateful towards everyone and everything. This mindset didn't help me in any way, and growing older, I found that doing a complete 180 has been the best thing possible for my mental health. That's good. I do my best to treat others with patience and care and understanding. We're all going through our own battles, and the more people I can reach and talk to, the more I realize this. Nobody has an easy time in life. Some people do. But some people are... oh my goodness. In really lucky conditions. So... that's not the norm. That's not normal people at all. I don't know a lot about most things, but if I can talk a little about my mental health, have a positive impact on others, it's made my life feel very much worth living. My audience is mostly made up of men. Are you surprised? I think that's pretty normal for chubas. And I think mental health is an area that doesn't receive enough support, for them especially. That's fair. And then, men's mental health, and then men create their own places to talk about their stuff. Who are you, a little bitch? Why do you want to exclude the other people, the women's? You can never win. You can never win with some people. It's so rough, man. It's so rough. I consider myself an advocate of any kind. I don't want my disorder to define my content, but I do like to talk about these things from time to time. And I do my best to listen to others talk about their troubles too. I'm always cheering everyone on. She's so nice. In a prior stream, you mentioned being the primary source of income for your family. Being the sole person paying for the rent. Is this still the case? I am. This is the case. I live with my mother and 4 younger siblings. That's a big family. My oldest brother has recently become an adult and contributes a little towards the house situation now. But my sisters are all still in school. My mother works, but it isn't really enough to cover essential for so many people. And my grandmother lives with us too. My grandparents mostly raised me, and my grandfather supported my family mostly long until he passed away from the goof complications in 2021. Guess that happens. That's messed up. After this, I became the primary earner. My throat is killing me today. You'll have to excuse my coughing a little bit. If it had not been for my content creation picking up around this time, we definitely wouldn't have been able to keep paying bills. We don't live in a especially big house considering how many people live here. I currently share a bedroom with 2 of my sisters. That's Mom. It's a very nice drawing. Based on comments by yourself on Twitter and from your fans, we think we understand what was said during the September 13th drinking stream. Apparently that's illegal. Drinking on a stream, I mean. Maybe you need the proper content tag. I will need to look into that. I don't plan to drink on a stream, so I don't really care. That's what I'm trying to get at. Especially deep gratitude to your fans for their support, and share that you had or have fears for the future due to your mental health. But your community support helped you greatly. Am I reading that correctly? You're reading that correctly! I take full responsibility for getting a bit too emotional on your stream. One moment, it's gonna happen, it's fine. But I don't regret anything I said, and it's all true. If it wasn't for streaming, I'm not sure I would be alive now. Yeah, that makes sense. Even if we only take into account the money. Streaming and everyone being here for me, through times of poor mental health, through loss and grief, truly did save me. A lot of people say that. That's really nice. Being quote-unquote saved by something that they love to do. That's pretty much making it. At least to some extent. Okay. There we go. Supporting my family gives me a reason to keep working hard. But knowing I can make people smile, I can make so many people's days just a little bit better, gives me a reason to keep loving what I do. I don't often cry on stream, as I try not to let the mood veer in that direction, but I think considering the circumstances, it was okay. It's fine. People are gonna love that, it's woman, right? I do worry about the future a lot. Content creation is a pretty fickle career path. It will be. And sometimes I get stressed because a lot of people rely on me. My medication may not work forever. Many times I had to switch before because they lost efficacy, and the medication I am on now is pretty much all maxed out. Yes, that happens a lot, and if you need medication for whatever it is, right? Doesn't need to be mental in this case. That stopping working, it's really scary. I completely understand that. Okay, let me. Okay. It's really scary. I take a higher dose of clozapine than is usually dispensed due to my case being extremely very treatment resistant. It is very possible that someday there just won't be a combination that I can take that leaves me stable enough to stream. I hope that doesn't happen. For obvious reasons. I don't know what my life will look like at this point, and it's very scary. It's extremely scary to know that something completely outside of your control might someday take away the things you love most in the world. Yep. I think this is a worry and a fear that every single person with an incurable illness, mental or physical, has to kind of cope with on an everyday basis. Therapy has helped me a lot to work through these feelings, but it's always something that's there, especially when I'm feeling a little emotionally vulnerable. It's gonna happen, it's fine. Did Twitch only contact you after you tweeted about their lack of communication in both the original ban and unban message? Yes, I initially received no email or communication from Twitch regarding my ban. How long it could be, or what policy I violated. That's always cool, huh? I always check my email as soon as I wake up, and when Twitter and Discord after. I found out about the ban through a Twitter bot that tweets Twitch partner bans as they happen. I've seen that one. Which is absolutely surreal to me, even now. Not having an automated email, that's scammy. About 30 minutes after my initial email, and about 9 hours after my ban, which came through while I was asleep, did I receive the standard email from Twitch? I did not receive any contact from my partner manager, purely scammy here. You have partner manager, come on now. At all, until after the issue was already resolved, and I was unbanned. Are they public workers or are they just useless? I don't want to know. As the ban happened in the early hours of Saturday morning, and they don't work weekends. Oh my god. Sure. Which is understandable, and this is information I've received previously, but forgot about it in the initial panic of the ban. Still, an email, even though it's just automated, that'd be pretty cool. Bare bones information, I beg of you. Apparently, the delay in communication in regards to the ban email is because it was the weekend too. I don't think I'm going to believe that one. I do find it interesting that it managed to come through after I tweeted about it though. After hours and hours of completely nothing, it's just too obvious. It's just too obvious. They don't like the small woman here, so obvious to me. It's also worth noting, in my opinion, that the email I finally received lacks a lot of the information that typical Twitch ban email contain. I wonder why. As if it was rushed together and sent out quickly. Oh. If you look up how they usually look, which is how mine looked the first time it was banned on my birthday too, the one I received on September 14th is incredibly boring. There's even video written where they're supposed to link the offending content, and there's no violated policy listed in the email either. That's not a red flag at all. That's not a red flag at all, guys, it's fine. I was bewildered when I received it, that I thought it was a fake email at first. Yeah, I can see that. I've seen this email too, and yeah, I completely understand that reaction. Since I tweeted about my ban, it being many hours since it had gone through. But no, it was real. Pure incompetence. Pure incompetence. It did mention seriously threatening to harm yourself or endanger your life, but I don't think that was the case in context, given what they said in the interview. I might be wrong. In one tweet you mentioned, is it just against the made-up second set of rules that my partner manager admitted moderation has for me? That's not a red flag at all. That's actually really scary. That I'm not allowed to see or hear about, by the way. Yeah? If there are rules and you have to abide by them, it should be illegal for the platform to keep you in the dark about what they are. They are rules for you and you are making money through the platform. You have to know them. You have to know them. Oh, what? You might fly too close to the sun? If it's not illegal, if it's not against the rules, it should work. But rules for thee, but not for me. The usual stuff. Because I am a petite woman with a high soft voice using a vtuber model that reflects me IRL. Yeah, that's not a red flag at all. If she is an adult woman, what is the big deal? What is the big deal? This is just strange control here. I don't like it. Is there something your partner shared out of sympathy, or something they let you sleep? Would your message cause them any issues in the future? You know what? I do hope the partner manager gets into trouble for saying that. Because fuck hidden rules. This is what I ascertained from what my partner manager told me after I received my first ban. It was explained to me that due to the way my vtuber model looks, I am not allowed to violate the sexual content rules in any capacity, which would be completely fine to me as I'm not a sexual channel. But then, it doesn't matter if actual e-thoughts have their link trees linked in their abouts and whatnot, and you could have teenagers, little teenagers, minors, okay, not 18 plus, 13 plus in this case, and get into those links that promote 18 plus content, literal pornography. And God forbid, huh? Well, for them, but not for me, I don't want them. They are too bad, I don't like them. When I questioned this, my partner manager explained to me that moderation had decided that there's different standards for the sexual content policy for me, since my model looks young. And this applies to all young-looking chuubas too. What are them rules, though? Where are they? That's disgusting behavior. I asked if these different policy rules could apply to a webcam streamer, also called foolish tuber, come on. Who also looks young or debatably underage. And I was told they likely would not. Ah, the usual. If they didn't have double standards, they wouldn't have standards at all. I fucking hate Twitch, man. Oh my god, I hope it crashes, not gonna lie. Of course, we're hearing that there are different standards for things that I can and cannot do. I asked for more information and a list of what is okay and what isn't. I was told that the moderation team said that this isn't possible to provide. And it's not an actual legal policy. Oh, there are extra official rules. I see, I understand. Is this a possible lawsuit? I think that could be the case. I do believe that could be the case. Is it gonna be? I don't know, probably not. When I asked how I was expected to follow it without knowing what it was, my partner manager struggled to reply, yeah, and said I should just do my best to not do anything that could possibly be perceived by moderation as sexual. Not a red flag at all, guys. Since I'm not the moderation team, I don't know anyone on the moderation team, and I'm not a very sexually educated person, I'm not really sure how this can be something I'm supposed to know. Yeah? Especially if it's something that could happen inside the game. Right? Some games have their dick and balls out, like Baldur's Gate and some of those horror games that are quite popular. For example, I was told one of my sexual policy violations that led to my 7-day ban was showing my vtuber model's feet on a stream. Oh... Are they Muslim? What's going on here? I don't understand. Too much, man. That's too much. That it was a Portal 2 stream where I generally put my head through one portal and my feet through the other. It's a funny bit. Also, it's just feet. There's nothing strange about that. That says more about Twitch than Shondo, not gonna lie. I was told this means there is fit focus, and fit could be argued as something fetishistic and sexual in nature by the moderation policy, and this bans sexual content in combination with my vtuber model. This is how the stream looked for reference. Okay. First of all, if you're being fair, literally anything could be fetishistic. Literally anything could be fetishistic. Also, really? Fit? Of all things, fit. Just fit. PNG fit here. When you have women doing yoga in bikinis. I don't know, man. I don't know. The bias is showing here. When asked if this means I'm not allowed to show my model's feet on a stream, my partner manager said that it's not allowed. I asked if I could get banned again if I did. My partner manager said it is best for me to veer on the side of caution if I do not want to get banned. So it's not disallowed, but it's not allowed either. It's just fuck around and find out. I don't like it. I hold absolutely no ill towards my PM, and I'm fond of them. They have been nothing but nice to me, and I understand they're just a messenger. But there were several moments where my PM had to pause and try to figure out how to answer my questions, and then answered them with something that was not really an answer at all. Yeah. I left that call feeling more lost and confused than before. Yeah, that's gonna happen. So essentially, there's no extra TOS they had to follow, not physically, as this would require Twitch's legal to physically make up these terms on paper. There are said uncommunicated rules I can assume legal has never seen or waiting on, and I'm not sure how many, and if I don't follow them, I risk being banned. That's looking good. That's looking beautiful, I say. Moderation will not pass this along to my PM or me, and I'm just left in a state of confusion. When I talked to Dan Clancy, the Chief Executive Officer of Twitch, I expressed all of this. He expressed there was no extra sets of rules for me. But moderation is right, and I must not make sexual content. You have to make VTuber model looks. It's not an extra set of rules for you, but also there is. Dan Clancy. We all know what you like on Twitch. We've seen those clips. We don't hate Dan Clancy enough. When I explained that Show My Feet on stream was cited to me as me violating sexual content, despite there being no mention or indication of this in the standard TOS, Dan, unfortunately, didn't comment further. Clown. So it seems for all legal purposes, these rules do not exist, but they still are being pushed by moderation. And still streamers are receiving bans. So yes, there's bias in moderation. Even they keep telling you that's not the case, it's happening. We have confirmation thanks to Shondo. I do believe that Twitch's recent policy containing changes to ban emails will help iron out the situation, if you're lucky. I'm certainly happy to hear about this change, as it's exactly what I proposed to treat my emails with Dan. The fact that this was not a thing already is just insane to me. I don't understand. Makes literally no sense. It's wild. It's wild. Just wild. The hell, man? What the hell? What's scared to VTubers like me and thousands of others isn't that we could break the rules and receive a ban. It's that we could break the rules, not know which rule was broken, because it's not official, not be told how we broke it or why, and still receive a ban. All we want is fair communication, and fair treatment in line with how female webcam streamers are treated. Fair! This policy change isn't a solution to the VTuber discrimination, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. Somewhat, but yeah, I agree. Why do you think Twitch would be harsher with a VTuber rig puppeteered by an adult than a flesh and blood streamer who looks like a child but isn't? We know what that class likes. He likes them thoughts, so there's that. My personal theory aside, I think that it's just a general normie dislike of anime in general. Discrimination. Though it's gotten better in recent years, the general mindset is still that anime is icky for kids, for creeps, and for weirdos. I don't think it's for kids, okay? Especially if it's sexual, that doesn't make any sense. What are you trying to imply here? They're still outcasts comparatively. They're still the weird kids. That will always be the case. And I think that aspect definitely still comes into play, especially when you're comparing the weird outcast girls that a lot of VTubers are, myself included, to the beautiful mainstream type of women that exist in webcam streaming. Especially the thoughts. That's just me. Twitch is a mainstream site, and VTubers especially are a new phenomenon. Just look at how much vitriol someone as wonderful and kind as our mouse has recently received for becoming the most subscribed streamer on the site. And in my opinion, she's as universally normie-friendly as it gets. But she's anime, so she's the enemy. It's impossible for me to imagine how anyone could dislike her, and yet somehow she receives a lot of hate just for existing and being magnificent at what she does. Numbers still really don't like chuubas. They don't. They don't. And they were saying really weird stuff. Also, this thing with XQC, that was really funny. Why are people subscribing to a picture? Why are people subscribing to a French Canadian? I don't know. Also, I'm pretty sure our mouse has better English than XQC, which is not saying much. Oh, we're gonna show that in this Christian stream, I'm afraid. It's probably okay, but I'm not gonna risk it, you know. But it goes a lot further than that. And every VTuber is spoken to has a similar idea to me. Twitch's moderation staff have shown time and time again they have a lot of love for flesh tubers, since there is many cases of them breaking the rules and receiving incredibly light or no punishment at all. That woman that was actually having sex on a stream, I remember that. Amaranth has broken the sexual content policy hundreds of times, but it's rarely banned for longer than a day. Asian Bunny Eggs has streams with the camera directed at her butt, with little to nothing covering it, and gets banned for 3 days, usually less. I had this, just in case. Now, this is gonna be rough. Okay, can you make this bigger? Sure. It's not the best, but please bear with me a little bit. We're boomers now. Just to not show anything, just in case. Ah, nice. Crap. As per usual. There we go. And away. Screw it. A little bit better, I suppose. Elity has thrown her cat on camera and gave her cat vodka, visually on stream. Cats cannot process alcohol, it is about as dangerous as giving them rat poison. And I do not believe she received any bang at all. Yeah, I don't think so either. Others note, Olympic was banned for 24 hours in 2020 for a partial malfunction, 3 days in 2023 for twerking, and this April for copyright infringement, and banned for 2 days for completing copyright school. So funny, okay. Saxon SPCA declared in 2019 their investigation determined that there was no malicious intent in any of the reported incidents, and the owner expressed genuine remorse for her actions, adding, the animals appeared healthy and well. Do we believe that? She might be just as stupid, okay? Makes sense. That could happen. Not everyone knows everything, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, we can go back to normal. Thank goodness. I have absolutely nothing against any of these women, except Alinity, and believe the problem is the game, not the women who play it. Now I'm going to hate both, actually. Regarding them, my mindset is personally that they are business women, and there's a lot to gain from them pushing the boundary. I don't know. I don't know too much. I don't know too much about that one. However, it should be moderation's job tell them where the line is, and it often feels like the line barely exists. I believe that a lot of these webcam streamers see VTubers were a relatively new concept, strong in popularity, and have a similarly constructed fanbase as competition. It's been proven that a lot of people who work for Twitch and have an impact on how this idea is run really like cowgirls, and watch them in their free time like Dan Clancy. Fucking guy. There's the world. Pap is a dirty word now, I suppose. Was not the other funny F word, so I don't even know anymore, man. I don't even know. This is just pure brain damage to me. VTubers were usually women, and are eclipsing common girls in popularity. Look at how immensely successful Whole Live and VShojo are threatening competition to some of these streamers. You might need an actual personality, imagine? And since our VTuber models don't usually have genitalia, we don't have anything of interest to offer to these crowd models. She has a really good point here. She do be. A small-chested, short, just barely 18-year-old cam girl, however, is a real tangible female with assets that just maybe, if the mod bans one more VTuber, he'll get a cheeky little glimpse at. Also, apparently, there appears to be some sort of, how do you say it? Some strange happenings, let's put it that way. about Twitch mods getting a little bit too hoinky spoinky with actual streamers, flash streamers, warming streamers. Conflict of interest? Surely not. As a young vtuber, I think we have jiggly drawn boobies bouncing around on the stream, so I can only imagine. VTubers are exactly what moderation especially despises. Yes. I'm a woman with nothing of interest to offer them. Yes. Yes, I think that's really spot on. Getting close to the end, finally. Why do you think Twitch is avoiding bringing up some of these additional DOS elements that only applies to cases like yours? Is it granting a loophole to serious misconduct, bad PR, something else entirely? Is it okay to have some rules, not setting a stone? No, that's never okay. I think that it's just a huge legal loophole, and leaving things unsaid and unclarified gives them a lot of room to dish out bans however moderation pleases. It's quite obvious that all of Twitch's DOS is applied pretty sloppily and unevenly depending on just who the streamer is, how big they are, how big their boobies are, for example. Yes. I think an awful lot of what goes on Twitch actually happens in a grey area of the rules. For example, it's okay to drink on a stream, and Twitch even has content classification labels intended for doing a drunk or high stream. But consumption of alcohol or other substances that lead to being incapacitated is also listed in the community guidelines as being against DOS, under the self-destructive behavior rules. Makes no sense. It makes no sense. There was also a fiasco late last year after Twitch briefly allowed certain kinds of artistic nudity. I remember that. Allowing camgirls to take off their clothes if certain conditions were met. VTubers with fully clothed models doing art streams were banned for showing bare breasts. Yes. There was worse than that, but yes. The rules are constantly manipulated depending on who the recipient of the punishment is, and this is something that has been going on for a very long time. But we're gonna show that. To play devil's advocate here, I do actually think that with VTubing still being new to the scene, it does cause a lot of difficulty for the higher-ups who make the rules. DOS was obviously designed for regular, normal flesh tubers, and not virtual anime girls. I think that's fair, but the rules actually state that if you're puppeteering some sort of model, it's the same as being an actual person showing the thing, so I don't know. Still feels more restrictive than it should be. Hearing virtual cleavage in a drum model that can only rotate so far, and possesses no nipples like a Barbie doll, distinguish real physical breasts the camera is physically close to, can be from different angles. It's just silly and makes no sense. True. Okay, that's fine. In my personal opinion, any kind of DOS gray area absolutely needs to be written up clearly. It can lead to someone being banned, putting someone's livelihood or community or just hobby on the line because of something unstated and unsure. Just is not fair or right. It's not. It's absolutely not. She's completely right here. All we want as creators is transparency, and that's fair. If a platform takes between 30 to 50% of your earnings, I think it's more than fair to say they owe you that. Yes. My ban was withheld quickly, only because of the huge support and outcry that I received on social media. I was overwhelmed by the kindness of it all, but it did leave me anxious, wondering what would become of a creator who did not have the platform or reach that I do. Permabans are a thing. Quite scary, but are still a thing. Scared that they could do this to anyone. They likely have, and they will. And we don't even know. A lot of content creators are outcasts, misfits, who sought out the streaming to escape something or find something else that they haven't had the opportunity to have. Streaming has presented a lot of wonderful opportunities to a lot of people that wouldn't have had them otherwise, myself included, and that's fair. The connection we make with our communities is something that would break a lot of us if it were taken away. Yes. And that's just pretty much the case. We are so sick and tired of having two sets of rules, but we cannot tell you about one of the set of rules. That could be bad. that could be bad if you know about the rules. So, I don't know, man. Is being transparent that bad? I don't think it is. Please, Twitch, I beg of you. I love Shondo, hell yeah. I'm glad Shondo got a man. She's absolutely right that Twitch mods are basically simply for the cam girls on the side. Even reading it into TOS that you can't accuse them of giving special treatment to certain streamers. It's so blatant it hurts. Yes, I mentioned this before, I'm pretty sure we read that too. It's so ass. It's so ass. I'm just tired of that, dude. And look, if you want to say, look, if you are a VR chat streamer, if you're a VTuber, even if you're a PNG tuber, you have something that represents yourself as a person, right? Whatever you use to represent yourself as a person is the same as showing a human. So the rules for humans apply. That makes sense. That makes sense. No one will be mad at that. That is cohesive. But it's not what's happening. They tell you that, but still, chuubas are more restrictive. And okay, we're going to skip a little bit fast here. You cannot tell me that this, in any way, shape or form, is sexual. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It's just a pure cope. Come on now. Do you really think that things would be better with Dan Clancy? It's only better for some people, I'm afraid. It's so bad. It's so bad. Gonna need a bigger sip than that one. Man. Speaking of companies doing weird stuff, let's jump to the next article. I'm gonna go a little bit longer today because this interview was pretty long, but I think it's interesting and also important. Magic the Gathering devs respond to criticisms of Universe Beyond crossover sets. Our goal is not to make a quick buck. Is that Hatsune Miku? It is. It is. It's so strange. And I guess this is kind of similar to what we were talking about with Fortnite and the collabs. We'll get to that in a bit. It started with The Walking Dead and has since come to include such IPs as Street Fighter, Doctor Who, Fallout, and even Hatsune Miku, with Final Fantasy and Marvel sets fast approaching. Look, D&i I understand there's cohesion there. Lord of the Rings, I understand it's science are weird, but there's cohesion there. Street Fighter? Guess I could see it, perhaps. Doctor Who? Fallout? Marvel? And there's even worse stuff. However, while some Magic the Gathering players have loved the expansion of the trading card game into such universes beyond, a significant amount of their peers are growing tired of what they see as a cheapening of their hobby in favor of cashing in on recognizable IP. This is what Fortnite does, but wrong. So funny. Well, not necessarily wrong, but not as good at least. The 10th Doctor. Blue-Red. I do enjoy my Blue-Red deck. I haven't played in more than 5 years, to be fair. Is it good? When you attack a cell card from the top of your library until you exile a 9 land card, put 3 time counters on it. If it doesn't have a suspend, it gains suspend. For 7. Time travel 3 times. Activate only sorcery. The fuck is time traveling as a mechanic? I have no idea. Each suspending card you own, and each permanent you control with a time counter on it, you may add or remove a time counter. Then do it 2 more times. I guess that is time traveling. It wouldn't work on my deck. Thank goodness. I don't want to run BBC. I mean the Doctor. Given how long-ranging the debate surrounding the continued production of these crossover cards has been among players, it comes as little surprise that the game's dev team is well aware of the controversy. They don't care. Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast are extremely greedy I've been told yesterday that apparently, I think it's only D&D. That's funny. Maybe Magic too. Oh my god, stopping. I hate it in here. I hate it in here, dude. Come on. Where's my thing? Where's my thing? I'm trying to open this up. Come on. Yes, I'm watching. Shut up. Fuck. It's so annoying. So annoying. It's getting to me. So bad. Yeah, apparently they have a lot of IPs that don't really make money, so they need to be extremely greedy with the ones that do. So it's sad. It's still sad, to be fair. But in counter to the accusations of the more fervent critics, the game's devs say that not only is the Universes Beyond initiative far from a cash grab, but also that sales data proves the entire idea has been a recent success. If it is a success, it's making money. If it's making money, you can always argue it's a cash grab, because it's really far removed from the usual stuff you have in Magic. What? Press on this fan considered by IGN's Tom Marks during a recent roundtable interview with various members of Magic's development team, which not only occurred prior to recent Commander ban. Yeah, that's another thing that's pissing people off. And thus did not discuss this matter at all. Rosewater affirmed that the data does not remotely back up. They believe that Universes Beyond have been a critical failure. I don't think it's a failure, but it is still a cash grab. What do you mean? It's because of their motivation of making that. Come on. We're always forward-facing. Our goal is not to make the quickest buck we can and call it today. Are you sure about that? Said the designer. Magic is 31 years old. We plan to be here as long as we can. And so, we're constantly forward-thinking in how we do things and make money. Long IPs. That's a rug. Skang. Shred. Warrior. I suppose that makes sense. Certainly the Magic is a game all about change. Rosewater then declared that there's no other way to grade Universes Beyond as anything but a runaway success. Players bounced off it when it first happened, no question, Hero Gold. We made the Walking Dead cards and we had a lot of the audience respond. They were not happy. But then Walking Dead went on to be the most successful secret lair we ever did. And Lord of the Rings is the most successful single set we ever did. You're trying to pander to people that are not your fans. It keeps happening, so as... Is this guy good? I have some white here, that's interesting. Prowess, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. 4/2 or 3 mana. That's fine. That's fine. For a red or a white, you can get first strike until end of turn. That's good. Shoryuken. Whenever can deals combat damage, you may cast a sorcery spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to that damage without paying its mana cost. That's interesting. It will actually work on my deck, somewhat. However, curiously, Rosewater clarified that successful doesn't just refer to profit, as there's lots of ways to look at something. We care about all of that. Which is it then? Which is it? Always with the whistle wording, it's so as. Take this end, he further posited. People just want an attribute. I don't know, it's the nature of the internet of like, they're up to no good. Or did they have our issues in mind? That's not true. We very much care what players think. We do service and everything. We do market research. Look, surveys are okay, but at the end of the day it's just a tiny portion of people who actually do the surveys. People that want to be the most vocal and might want to steer the staff the most. So it may also be biased. We don't want to just make something, we want to make something we honestly believe that the players to their core will enjoy. And that drives our decisions. Do you guys remember this card? It takes me back to my first ever stream. And I don't think this character is cool. It's pretty cool design. This guy is not Aragorn, okay? Also look at this. Fucking Optimus Prime. Sure, that makes sense, I guess. According to his culture sentiments, global play lead Ken Troop, Game Masters, I guess not. Likewise, Assorted. For Magic, typically we do see that when things don't sell well, there is a really good proxy of audience dislike. There's very few things that I can point to sustainably over time that have sold well. But it wasn't popular. Or conversely, things that people say are popular but don't sell well. Magic typically is a really good converter of joy to economic engagement. Ooh, that sounds disgusting. I don't like it. We really do try to look at what's going to make Magic have its best chance of lasting for a very long time. He said, sometimes we get that wrong, but that is our motivation every time. You know who's going to buy this? Transformers fans. Magic fans? Probably not. Is that so weird to say? I don't think so. I think that's pretty normal. Keeps happening. Also, artifact feature with 3 different colors. Yeah, I'm not gonna be using this one. It doesn't fit in my artifact deck. It's just pure blue. Come on. The next Universe Beyond set, based on the entirety of Square Enix's Final Fantasy franchise, is set to hit sometime in 2025. I do think they're going to sell a lot. I don't think it's gonna be for the correct reasons. That's just me, though. That makes sense. Black Armor was when it was over. They did that intentionally to rage bait. They knew it would give them a lot of free press and fan reaction. Yes, that makes sense. Not only did the crossovers feel inauthentic, but they also added rules. I have balance issues that break the game. Imagine my shock. Imagine my shock. And come on, they cast the same manners from Doctor Who? And Optimus Prime costs only 1 more? This is the problem with mixing worlds. Power levels have to get inflated or nerfed to make everyone fit together. And the end result is that none of the characters seem quite right. Yeah, use D&D. It makes sense. I think the models similar enough to Magic. So sure. They have characters from the movie, it's fine, it's whatever. Still, sword and sorcery, right? It's not a big of a deal. So there's that. There's that. Also, King is actually quite low. I don't think King is probably the best card they're showing here, which is funny. Ah, maybe this one. It's high cost for just a 3/6, though it has virulence. It gives out free +1/+1 counters, so it's always really good. And you get 3 lives. It's not bad. It's costly though. I think that King is just released to use. I don't like the image, but that's maybe a nitpick as per usual. Once again, everything has to appeal to the normies because there are a lot of normies and we want their money. Oh my god, it's so ass. It's so annoying. I need to take another sip. I'm drinking a lot today. That's the first thing I said. I'm a thirsty boy today. So that's okay. So to finish for today, let's get into a couple of de&i shenanigans here. One of them I wanted to show last week and I failed, that's on me. But I finally found it again. From de&i for white guys. A how-to guide on making your company's de&i department self-destruct. That's beautiful. Say your company's name and the word diversity. In this example, we'll use HabDebot. HabDebot diversity up, diversity, equity, and inclusion. First result on DuckDuckGo. Not bad. Scroll through their de&i page and find their employee network groups. You'll likely have one for Black, Asian, Latino, Indigenous, LGBT, disabled, women, seniors, and veterans. A lot of people. Home people calls them associate resource groups. Here we have the screen here. Our diversity, equity, and inclusion program seeks continual improvement through strategic action, review of practices, and reporting of our initiatives. These actions support our business objectives by promoting associative satisfaction? I don't think that's a word, and retention, community partnership, and innovation, guided by our core value of respect for all people. We also seek to foster equitable pay and promotion opportunities within our company. That's not a red flag at all. That post is deleted, I don't know why. I never saw it, so I cannot tell you. Using their own de&i language, email your chief diversity officer from your company email and ask if they are seeing a approved process, a standard, or procedure to create an employee network group, and that you like to create one for people of European descent or who identify as white. This one is beautiful. Here's an example of such an email to Dirk Bottoms, Home Depot's Chief Diversity Officer. Mr. Bottoms, I recently learned that Home Depot has associate resource groups, ARGs, which promote our culture of inclusion, support diversity, and help drive employee engagement through fostering professional development, raising cultural awareness, celebrating diversity, and offering community outreach opportunities. As far as our heritage ARGs are concerned, I saw that we have an ARG for African American, Hispanic, Native American, and Asian American associates. I would like to contribute and help increase the diversity of the ARG program and promote Home Depot's culture of inclusion by creating an ARG that includes, represents, celebrates, fosters professional development, raises cultural awareness, and offers community outreach opportunities for my heritage, Americans of European descent and/or who identify as white. Is there an approved process, standard, or procedure for creating a new ARG? Thank you for your time. They're just going to ignore it. I need to mute for a second to blow my nose again. I don't think that's going to make an impact, but it makes sense, right? This template can be used for virtually every major corporation in America. They're all set up the same way in compliance with ESG scoring. Oh, that's funny. The purpose of this is threefold. Get representation for white people that's afforded to every other group on the basis of race. It only makes sense. Having them tell you no or retaliating against you for requesting the same thing they offer to every other group based on race, which gives you standing to use. To sue. To use a layer, I suppose. They get off their nose to... Get off their nose? I don't think I've ever seen that expression. They get off their nose to spite their face and end their de&i programs because they would rather do away with it all than afford the same privileges to white people as a collective. Interesting. Really interesting. I have some more points here. It's longer than I remember. If they allow you to try to create one, believing you can't on your own, we at de&i for White Guys can help you through the process of complying with the standards and procedures. If they deny you or retaliate against you, we can help connect you with pro bono lawyers who are in the anti-de&i space. Spicy. So spicy. We're not a law firm, we don't give legal advice, we won't ask you for your info or for your employer's info, unless you want to share it. Fair. But we will also not ask you to do something we haven't already done ourselves. And are still employed. Funny. I don't think they can just fire you for that. That wouldn't make any sense. De&i departments are expecting individual white people to complain about or oppose its de&i policies, which violates company policies and your terms of employment. Yes, but they never envisioned with collectivize and ask for equal treatment. I use de&i to destroy de&i. I think it's fair. I love that approach. This is the safest, most effective, and most respectful way to fight for white advocacy and protect yourself in the process. Make them live up to their own words and standards. And they showed a video the other day about a guy in some sort of public hearing with a mayor uh, trying to do this, and the mayor was like, "Well, if you really think that you're being marginalized for being white in this society, I don't know what kind of world you live in." And you're like, "Okay, but the thing you, Mr. Mayor, approved is that you're gonna give taxpayer money just by the face to all people that are not white. So yes, that's systematic racism, not systemic, as the DEI people will accuse of suffering. Systematic. It's in the system. But hey, if this shit works, more power to you, what can you say? More power to you, what can you say? It's beautiful. Plainly beautiful in my opinion. And lastly we have... Guys, DI is dying. Is it? I'm not quite sure. From the New York Post. Is this the correct link? Let me make sure. It do be. Okay. I wasn't sure. Because I had two different links for this one. I have something on Bloomberg too. Here are latest to scrap DI policies, giving anti-woke activists another wing. Do we believe it? Let's see if we believe it. Theodore Carp is planning to move away from DI and pro-LGBTQ events after recently facing online controversy, according to a new report. Bloomberg reported the company sent out a memo to its US employees Thursday saying it will narrow community activities to align with STEM education and workforce readiness. That makes sense for now. And no longer participate in the Human Rights Campaign's Corporate Equality Index. That seems good. 1 week earlier, anti-woke activist and filmmaker Robbie Starbuck detailed several woke initiatives within the company, including funding groups that oppose laws to ban gender transition treatments on minors, forming employee resource groups, ERGs, not the same as ARGs I suppose, divided by race and gender orientation, sexual orientation I think you mean, and sponsoring a drag queen program at his summer camp for kids. Yeah, that's disgusting. Starbuck complimented Toyota on the decision Thursday and shared more of the memo. In the message to employees, Toyota reportedly said will continue to encourage an inclusive environment where diversity of thought can flourish. The company will be primarily focusing on activities that promote the quality of business. Okay, this could be whistlewording, this could be a lie, we don't know. They mentioned diversity of thought. That'd be good. Don't get me wrong, that'd be good. If they were just to mention inclusive environment where diversity, just diversity, can flourish, they said nothing. They might still be saying nothing with this, okay? Because they love to conflate, as we saw last week, diversity as the actual word with racial equity. So, be careful with these guys, yet. Do not believe them, just yet. The company will be probably focusing on activities that promote the quality of the business. This makes sense. This should always be the case. What can you say? We will work to ensure that the activities and events are focused on professional development, networking, mentoring, and volunteering. Team member engagement that drives our business. Furthermore, we will work to ensure all company activities are aligned with our values and create an inclusive environment for our team members. Inclusive environment. Could be whistlewording. I think we should be wary. They could be just like Square Enix. We're rejecting Sweet Baby, we're rejecting DI. Well, you're rejecting your DI division, But you're clearly still promoting the message, so you did nothing of value. I have to give the executives credit for taking this unifying action. It's not easy to do, but they are preparing their business for future success by adopting corporate neutrality. Sounds good to me. That thing always gives me a fucking jump scare. That's my following soundbite on Twitch. The companies who adopt neutrality will win with the future because they don't violate the core beliefs of the consumers they rely on. That's fair. Starbucks wrote on Twitter. A spokesman told Bloomberg a Starbucks public attack drew a few hundred queries from employees, questions from a small population of dealers, and about 30 customer calls to its call center. He described the impact as negligible. Oh, where have we seen that before? I'm drawing a blank on this one, what can you say? Fox Business reached out to Toyota. Toyota follows several major businesses that have recently announced moving away from de&i initiatives following an extensive online campaign against them by Starbucks. Good. Fuck them. Fuck them with their racism. In August, former company also confirmed that it will distance itself from work policies in a letter from Ford CEO Jim Farley to employees. I haven't seen that one. Do we believe them? I don't think we should. For now. They need to prove themselves. In the letter, Farley laid out a series of bullet points telling the Ford workforce that the company does not utilize quotas in hiring. Thing is, they didn't actually call them quotas, so they could be lying to you directly. I don't know if that's the case. And saying that it prioritizes its resources for business purposes, versus publicly commenting on the many polarizing issues of the day. Shut up and make product. That makes sense. That just makes sense. But I find it highly insulting. And it makes a lot of sense, right? When you have the regular suspects being like, oh my god, the white supremacy, this and that. Ah, but white people, they don't have any, what call it? They don't have any culture, and that. It's really funny. It's really funny because when you think, just for more than a second about it, they are equating white European as the default. It's really interesting. Oh, you're in a stolen land. I don't know. Your alphabet is Roman. How about that one? It's funny. It's funny. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. But it keeps happening. I don't know. Look, if you cannot feel pride on your people's history, it's not everyone else's problem. What can you say? Also, I don't have anything to show for this, but we're just finishing. I guess it's okay. They just announced the Season 2 for Cashing Over Magical Girls. They just announced Season 2 for Thousand of Freedom. So, I suppose the leaks were correct, after all, from what we've seen. That's cool. That's pretty cool. Also, today we have the first episode of Bleach, the new Bleach. It's gonna be cool. I hope. I hope. High expectations for that. I like Bleach. I think it's okay. It's like the impressive narrative or anything like that, but it's cool. I think this season I'm gonna be watching a lot of stuff. It's gonna be mostly second seasons of shit. We have Bleach, we have ReZero, we have Dragon Ball Daima, and we have Rurouni Kenshin. I think that's all I'm watching this season. There was another one that I think might be mildly interesting. Anti-chart, and I said anti-chart. Why am I like this? You know what? Fuck it, let's bring that up. let's bring that up. Let's talk a little bit about anime now. Why not? Let's look at this. I've seen a couple of people talking about Uzumaki, Junji Ito. Never seen anything about the guy. I don't think it's bad at all, but might not be for me. People are talking about Dan Da Dan. Might be good. Some people talking about research translation. Oh, Lolly Mancer, Lolly Mancer. It was actually Little Girl User, Jujutsu Sky. It's quite a literal translation. But then you have Reinhardt's Kinsei title, Sword Saint, now becoming Master Swordsman, and I think that's strange. We have Bleach, Bleach is cool. You have Arifureta. I'm following the manga, maybe you should watch the anime. We have... what else do we have here? We have Daima. I hope it's good. I do hope it's good. I'm mildly interested in this one. Nagiki Nobori wa Intaishitai. The guy that's useless but became the leader of the strongest adventuring party. They're called treasure hunters. I guess it could be interesting, I don't know. Oh! Wait, what? We also got Aono Exorcisto. I didn't realize, I need to watch this too. From today, I guess. 6 days and 20 hours, it is from today, I didn't see. Oh, we also have Dhamma. I actually need to check that one out. It was more stuff that I previously expected, that's fine. There's some stuff that could be cool here. Mighty Dragon God is a guide, could be okay. Let's see if this Tsumo Shogaku Naru ends up being good. People have high expectations for that. That fucking ghost. It's only one episode, I guess. I might watch this. Tono Toinu. I think it might be cute. And, well, I'm also waiting for Sengoku Yoku to keep airing. We had nothing this week, unlucky. And last week was a recap, so we're starving a little bit. I think it's actually a pretty cool anime. Might not be for everyone, but I think it's really strange. I think it's really, really interesting. Oh man, but this is gonna be everything for me today. We went way more than usual. Almost 3 hours today, what the fuck? Anyway, thank you all for coming. I hope you had some fun with this sort of news for the day. We'll come back on Monday as per usual. We're gonna be playing game, I don't know which one yet. Gonna be either more Pokemon. I think I want to rush Pokemon a little bit to finish Kanto. I don't think I will be finishing Kanto Monday. I think I'm gonna need another day. We just have 2 badges. I might be able to get myself closer to Kanto's endgame, like Cinnabar Island. I think that makes sense. Well, it depends on the XP we get, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm feeling Wednesday this coming week, so we're gonna have three funnies in the news stream. We'll see what happens on Wednesday. I'm juggling some stuff here. I think it could be really, really fun. Yeah, that's everything I have for today. I want to rest a little bit. I'm beaten, dude. I barely slept today. Again, keeps happening. Just as me. That's just on me. But I ended up going out with my mates yesterday, so that was meant to happen. Anyway, thank you for coming. I hope you had some fun. Never black pill. And see you all soon. Until then, you know the rules. Take care.